Hi, this is Tamara. Welcome back to my channel, Luce Bianca Sound Healing, Meditation, Oracle, Mindfulness, everything in between. Anyways, today I am really excited to bring you another journal entry, which is based on an oracle or a tarot card pull. Many of you have really enjoyed it, so I decided to sort of continue this as long as I'll be able to do it and remember to do it. And pull a card and give you a little bit of an idea on a prompt that you can use for journals, and just a prompt so that you can write based on that oracle card and kind of dig within, go within and do all the inner work. Go within. So today I'm going to be using another card from the Tarot the Divine, which I absolutely adore. This is one of the decks that I've been working with a little bit more lately, and I love it. I love it so much because it is based on different myths and fairy tales and legends from all over the world, and your girl loves fairy tales. I just love fables. I love legends. I love all of them. And today, let me tell you about today. Let me tell you about the story. I have to tell you the story, the background of this card that I pulled. I had never heard of this fairy tale before, so I had to go research it and read about it, and I was like, what? What is going on? So anyways, the card for a journal entry today is a Three of Wands, in particular deck from the Tarot the Divine. It actually is from a fairy tale based in Romania. Yeah, it's like a Romanian fairy tale basically. And it's called The Enchanted Pig. Now, story time, get ready, get cozy, because I never heard of this one, and I'm like, let's read it, let's find out about it. So here's the fairy tale in a nutshell. So in this great kingdom, there is a king, obviously, and he goes off to war, and he has three daughters, three princesses. And before he goes to war, he says to them, you can do whatever you want, you can go into every room of the castle except one, you can't go into this one room. So of course, having three teenage daughters and being teenage kids, what is the one thing they're going to want to do is go into this forbidden room. Duh. So they go in there and they find a book. So the three sisters, the three princesses, start looking through this book. And as they look through the book, they realize that there is a destined destined future outcome for them. I could have worded that so much better. But basically, the oldest daughter, the oldest princess, is destined to marry a prince from the west. So she's like, oh yay! And then the middle princess is destined to marry a prince from the east. So of course she's thrilled. And then the youngest daughter, the youngest princess, is destined to marry a pig from the north. Yeah, you heard that right, a pig. She's destined to marry a pig. So obviously, poor girl isn't happy. She's like distraught over it, like, I don't want to marry a pig. So the sisters try to soothe her and comfort her and tell her, no, this can't be. I mean, there's some mistake, right? Anyways, dad comes back from war and he finds out that they looked at this book, and he was like, man, I told you not to look in this book, but whatever, maybe nothing will happen. Well, what ends up happening is that the oldest daughter ends up marrying a prince from the west, and the middle daughter ends up marrying a prince from the east. And you know it, you already know where I'm going with this. A big old pig comes to court and wants to marry her, the youngest princess. He actually wants to court her and take her as his wife. So she's like, oh, hell no. And the dad is like, look, no, I don't. This is like, no, we're not doing this. But as he turns down the proposal, the entire kingdom fills with pigs. And I'm assuming it's not the cute little cuddly pigs, because I'd be okay with that. But like the tiny little ones with the little curly tail, and they're just so cute. I'm imagining like a big old pig. So anyways, he's like, listen, child, you need to marry him. And I'm sorry, this is your fate. So she accepts her fate. And she starts to get ready to leave with her new pig slash husband. And the king, the dad, says, look, I think there's magic here. Like, this is some dark crap, right? Like, maybe there's some way to undo whatever happened to him. I don't know, but good luck. So she leaves and she goes back, I don't know, I mean, wherever he lives, wherever a pig lives, and he actually turns into a man every night. And over time, she basically starts to love him, and he's really kind to her, and they really have feelings for each other. So I guess during the day he's a pig, and then at night he turns into a man, which is great, but then he turns into a pig again. So she's like, well, crap, you know? So she finds a witch, and she's like, what happened to my husband? What can I do to help him? Like, how do I break this spell? So the witch tells the young princess, tie a ribbon around his ankle tonight and he will be free from the spell. Well, no, that doesn't happen. The husband wakes up and he's like, in 3 days' time, this curse would have been lifted. However, now that you put this thing around my ankle, I'm gonna be stuck in pig form forever and you'll never find me anymore. Really? Like, ugh. So anyways, the girl basically is like super upset, and she's like, no, what do I have to do to find you and to be with you? I'm sorry. And he tells her, in order for you to find me again, you must wear out 3 pairs of iron shoes. Side note, why is it that this obsession with old fairy tales and iron shoes? Do you guys know about that? I think Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella, or maybe both stories, the evil stepmothers had to dance in iron shoes until they fell to their death. Was that like some sort of medieval torture back then? I mean, I don't know. Okay, side note. So he's like, if you want to find me, you have to wear out 3 pairs of iron shoes and blunting a steel staff, which I'm not sure what that means, but we're gonna go with it. So he disappears. Poops. All right, so she wears her first pair of iron shoes. She's like, let's do this thing. And she goes on a quest to find out how she can find her husband and set things right again. So she decides to go to the house of the moon. Well, the moon's mother is there and lets her in. And while she is in the house of the moon, the young princess actually apparently gives birth to a son. Don't ask me what happened to the son because I have no freaking clue, because the son is never mentioned again. But if you are Romanian, or if you know the story in greater detail that I'm telling it, maybe you know what happened, because I'm very curious. Like, what happened to the boy, but whatever. So the moon's mother tells her, I have no clue where your husband is, so I think you need to go. But here's chicken, and you should keep all of the bones. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll keep the bones. So she sets off, and she has already worn out her first pair of iron shoes. All right, so she decides to go to the house of the sun. So she knocks on the door, and then the son's mother lets her in, and she was like, look, you can stay, but I have to hide you because my son, the sun, get it? My son, the sun, he's kind of like ill-tempered, and he's got like a bad attitude, and he wouldn't like it if you're here, but I will ask him about your husband. Well, she does ask her son about the husband, and he's like, I have no clue. I don't know what you're talking about. So the mother goes, here's a chicken, and you can keep the bones, and you gotta go. So she takes the chicken, and she wears out her second pair of iron shoes, and she goes through the Milky Way on her way to the house of the wind. Well, the wind's mother actually knows where her husband is. Well, I say knows, but really it's like, I don't know, a riddle. Because she tells her, your husband lives in a wood that no axe could cut through. Like, he lives in a tree? He lives in a cabin? I don't know. Somehow, she goes out on her quest again to find her husband in this wood that cannot be cut through with an axe. This story is like derailing so fast. I'm getting so out of, okay. And then she comes across a castle, and I guess she thinks her husband is there. So She quickly finds out that she has to climb this castle. Side note, where's the baby? I am still stuck on the baby. Where's the baby? Did she leave it at the moon's house? I don't know. But she needs a ladder. Well, she doesn't have a ladder, so she takes the bones of the chickens, the 3 chickens, and she like builds a ladder. But I guess she's like 1 bone short, so she cuts her pinky to add it to the ladder and climbs. And I guess she finds her husband. I feel like there's information missing here somewhere, but you know what? Don't ask me about it, just go with it. So anyways, it turns out that the pig, her husband, he actually was a prince and he killed a mighty dragon, and the dragon's mom, there's a lot of moms involved in the story, is actually a witch. That witch that told the young princess to put a rope or a tie around his ankle to break the spell. And she obviously steered her wrong because she was mad that this prince had killed her darling dragon son. So she turned him into a pig, and the tie was to make him remain in pig form forever. So she had tricked the princess. And I think they lived happily ever after. I don't know, I assume. Listen, don't come after me if I got the story wrong. If you know it, if you're Romanian, if you know this, fill in the blanks in the comments, okay? Just don't go after me. I have no idea what's going on. No idea what's going on. Anyways, back to our tarot card. The 3 of Wands. So the 3 of Wands is a representation of self-motivation, freedom, reward. It's all that sparkling fire that fuels romance and relationships, right? Like she's going to the earth's ends to find her pig, her enchanted pig prince. So this card is all about surviving trials for the greater good, taking a long journey to rescue what is worth rescuing, staying motivated, and knowing that you will be rewarded for it. It's also a message of frustration and delays in a journey. So you may be thinking about going after something that you really want to achieve, but you may be delayed in your journey there and you're getting frustrated. But this card, for me, it represents staying strong, staying true to your purpose and to that passion that fuels you. That was a lot. So you're welcome. That's your prompt for today. Write in your journal, see what this card means to you. Write a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And again, I'm sorry that the story might have not been super consistent. I'm sorry if I got some parts wrong. I have questions too, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good journal entry, and I'll see you next time. Bye.